You know what's more powerful than winning an argument? Not having one. Because every time you argue with someone to destroy their ego, you actually feed it. You give them exactly what they want. Your energy, your emotion, your time. The most dangerous people in any room aren't the ones who argue the loudest. They're the ones who don't argue at all. They're the ones who stay calm, stay quiet, and let the other person slowly destroy themselves. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. How to completely dismantle someone's ego without saying a single angry word, without starting a single fight, and without losing a single drop of your own peace. Let's start with the most important thing you need to understand about ego. Ego survives on one thing: reaction. That's it. That's the whole game. When you argue, you validate. You're telling the other person that their opinion matters enough for you to fight it. And that's oxygen to a fire. Psychologists call this reactive reinforcement. The more you push back emotionally, the more the other person doubles down. Their identity becomes fused with the argument. Now, they're not just defending a point, they're defending their entire sense of self-worth. So every time you engage, every time you raise your voice, every time you try to correct them, you're actually making them stronger. The less you react, the more power you hold. Silence isn't weakness. Silence in the right moment is one of the most psychologically destabilizing things you can do to a person with a fragile ego. And once you understand that, everything changes. The first thing you need to master is what I call strategic indifference. Not fake indifference, not coldness or rudeness. Real, genuine detachment. The kind that comes from truly not needing their approval or their validation. When someone makes a provocative statement, something designed to get a rise out of you, and you simply look at them, nod slightly, and move on, something breaks in them. Because their ego expected a performance. It was waiting for your reaction like a match waiting to strike. And you gave it nothing. In practice, when they say something boastful, dismissive, or condescending, you respond with a calm interesting, or just silence. No sarcasm. No eye roll. No visible tension in your jaw or your body. Just presence without engagement. And over time, this does something remarkable to them. The person begins to doubt themselves. They start wondering why you're not reacting. They start questioning whether they even matter to you at all. Because the only thing more unsettling than conflict is indifference. Conflict says you matter enough to fight. Indifference says I haven't even classified you as a threat worth responding to. The second thing is borrowed from one of the greatest minds in history, Socrates, and it is devastatingly effective when used correctly. Never tell, always ask. When someone makes an arrogant claim, your instinct is to correct them, to prove them wrong, to show everyone around you that they don't know what they're talking about. Don't do that. Instead, ask them to explain it. Ask them how that would actually work in practice. Ask them what their reasoning is behind that idea. Ask them what they would do if it doesn't work out the way they're expecting. You're not attacking their idea. You're not mocking them. You're simply inviting them to defend their own position, to themselves, out loud, in front of everyone. Here's the psychology behind this. Most ego-driven statements are not carefully reasoned. They're emotional declarations dressed up as facts. They're confidence without substance. And when you force someone to actually articulate and justify their position out loud, the cracks appear on their own. You didn't point them out. They revealed them. The ego can't fight a question. It can only fight a statement. So stop making statements and start asking questions. The third thing is simple, but almost no one does it consistently, because it requires real self-control. Be the calmest person in the room when they're the loudest. When someone raises their voice and you lower yours, the dynamic shifts instantly. Everyone around you notices it, and more importantly, they notice it. Their aggression looks like chaos. Your calm looks like control. Their volume looks like insecurity. Your stillness looks like certainty. This isn't just a body language trick. It's neurological. When you remain emotionally regulated, while someone else is completely dysregulated, you're communicating something at a primal level that goes beyond words. You're saying, I am not threatened by you. I am not moved by you. And that, to a fragile ego, is the most deflating message it can possibly receive. So the moment you feel the urge to match someone's energy, the moment you feel that heat rising in your chest, do the exact opposite. Slow down. Lower your tone. Take a breath before you respond. That one habit alone will shift how every difficult person in your life relates to you. The fourth thing is what both professional negotiators and therapists use in high-stakes situations, and it's called mirroring. When someone says something arrogant, dismissive, or completely out of touch, simply repeat their last few words back to them as a calm, neutral question. So you're saying you never make mistakes. So in your view, you're always the smartest person in the room. You're not mocking them. You're not exaggerating. You're just holding up a clean mirror and letting them see exactly what they just said. Most people with inflated egos have genuinely never had their own statements reflected back to them without distortion. When it happens, they pause. They get uncomfortable. Because suddenly, they're hearing themselves the way everyone else does. And you don't have to say anything after that. You just let the silence sit. The mirror has already done the work. The fifth and most powerful thing of all, and also the one that requires the most patience, is this. Do the work. Let the results speak. Nothing in this world dismantles ego more completely than quiet, consistent excellence from someone who never felt the need to announce it. While they're performing, you're building. While they're arguing about who's better, you're becoming better. While they're seeking validation, you're creating results that make validation irrelevant. And at some point, and this point always comes, the gap between what they claim to be and what you've actually become is so wide that no amount of ego can bridge it. This is not about proving them wrong in a single moment. This is about making their entire narrative irrelevant over time. People with fragile egos fear one thing above everything else: being made irrelevant. And the only person who can truly do that, without a single argument, without a single confrontation, is the person who quietly, patiently, consistently outgrows them. So here is everything in one place. Stop reacting, give them no audience for the performance they're putting on. Ask questions. Let them collapse their own argument with their own words. Stay calm. Let your composure be the loudest thing in the room. Mirror them. Let them hear themselves the way the world hears them. And then build, quietly, consistently, without announcement, without seeking anyone's approval. Because the real victory was never in the argument you win. The real victory is in the person you become while everyone else is still fighting.